Hey Virgo, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading, general reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. We're getting started with just sort of an overall vibe here. Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Impulsive communication. Inspired though. Perhaps not impulsive, perhaps very inspired. Exciting. Look at this little prancy horse. Very excited. So exciting communication. Possibly communication about passionate communication. So it could be about a passion like creative projects or relationships, but more about the passionate side of the relationship than the emotional side. And yeah, could be a little bit impulsive or inspired. So before we get going on the rest of the reading, I do have love readings over on Vimeo. The link is in the description box. I also have a link to my Etsy shop if you'd like any other kind of personal reading from me too. So let's continue on here. Past, present, inner landscape. What's at issue? Environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Well, okay. All right. And then as I was pulling these cards, I felt just like a tremendous sense of gratitude. I don't know why I said it like that, but gratitude. Yeah. You know, that's really cool. These cards bring us these messages. They're really quite a vehicle. And the artist, you know, put in a bunch of work, a lot of work, very inspired work, connected to the meanings of the cards and then created them. I don't know, that's part of your message. That gratitude for the work that others do. And the gratitude for the capacity to communicate, right? We also have, this can be also intuitive, psychic communication, and that capacity for these vehicles of communication. All right, in the recent past, we have Seven of Pentacles. We have waiting, watching and waiting. It's like you've planted seeds, you put a bunch of work into something, and now what? Where's the reward? Where's the, you know, where's the money? You know, okay, checks in the mail, keep hearing that one. You know, I just like, where's the reward? And so Seven of Pentacles can be about some patiently impatient waiting, expectation. Having some expectation that something's going to bear fruit, something's going to happen, that all your work is going to pay off. It's a, you know, when do you cut your losses and move on? When is this just not going anywhere? When do we have the understanding that this situation, this project, this relationship, it isn't going to bear fruit? I'm not sure relationships bear fruit, but it's not going to go anywhere or have any, when's the outcome? So this is like knowing when to hold them and when to fold them, and contemplating that moment of when to, you know, when do you keep playing and when do you drop out and be like, this isn't gonna. So Seven of Pentacles also always reminds me of the sunk cost fallacy as well. It's just like continuing to pour time and money and energy into like a seed that's just not viable. And like a lot of seeds aren't. They just don't come up, or they're, you know, that's why someone who starts seeds in their own home or starts seeds from scratch, they'll always do, or actually companies or whatever that start seeds, plant several per hole, because there's a guarantee, there's an understanding that not everything is going to come up, not everything's going to bear fruit. So this is like, a lot of work has been gone on. This isn't just like a couple weeks between planting and germination of a seed. This is like, there's been a lot of work and a lot of waiting now. And then do you leave or not? So we have Six of Swords. Okay, you know what? Enough's enough. That's your current situation, is detaching. You're either emotionally detaching from the outcome, or you literally are moving. Like, this isn't working. How long do I have to wait to know if this works, or what to do here, or if this is going to ever be anything more than just a plant? You know, plants and trees have a lot of benefit, but if you wanted to have some peaches and the tree doesn't ever provide peaches, and you've had the tree for 20 years and there's still no peaches on it, you know, you can still appreciate the tree for what it is, but the truth is there aren't any peaches on this tree. So you plant a new one, or you go buy yourself a peach orchard. So Six of Swords is moving on. It's taking what you learn, taking your knowledge, taking your information. And Six of Swords is always my my sort of refugee card too. As far as like, you know, the unknown, let's just go there because it seems a lot better than the known. And you're known here. You've been very patient. So if you're leaving something now, no matter what it is, it looks like it's a situation where you have been very patient and you have been very thoughtful about this process. This isn't, so this process that I'm seeing here so far is not any sort of not intuitive. It's not any sort of like impulsive decision to leave something. It's not an impulsive decision. You've thought about it. You're maybe a little pissed off about the time and energy that you spent. Yeah, this is definitely you. You've like turned your hoe or your plow or whatever into like an oar so you can get away. And you don't know what the future holds. It's not like you're jumping ship for another ship. It's not like you're bailing on this project because you see something better. It's just like, you know what, let's just not do this. And this could also be though, like it's describing the current situation. So it's not describing something that you have no idea about, or I didn't know I was going to do that, or this is the advice. This isn't the advice position. So you're either like completely detaching from the outcome, sort of like here you're watching, you're waiting, and here you're like, yeah, whatever, do whatever you want. I don't care. I'm moving. I'm leaving the situation behind. I don't care. Maybe it'll bear fruit, but it'll be a surprise if it does. I'll come back, 6 months, and maybe there'll be some peaches on this tree. I don't know. But I'm definitely not going to stand here and watch and wait and try to figure out what else I need to do. So there's a sense of like, this Six of Swords is like a quitting card. It's like, you know what? Right? It's a fold them. You've decided to fold them instead of hold them. You're folding them and moving on. Or you're just putting them down and going, like I'm just imagining people playing poker in someone's house, and you're just putting them down and you're like going to go get yourself a drink or something. Like, this is, I just don't even care about this game anymore. I don't want to play this. Like, you're not making any moves. We're sitting here talking for 10 minutes about what you should do. Like, let's just, I gotta move. I gotta move on. I can't be here anymore. I can't be doing this anymore. I can't be babysitting this little like project anymore. It's either going to flourish or not, but I can't do anymore. I can't put any more input into it. Okay. I can probably repeat myself a little more though here, but I think I'm going to try to move on. In your in your inner landscape, we have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is going back here. You have an intuitive sense about something. So even though you don't know what's going to happen when you detach from a situation, it still feels very right. Like the future is feeling, you have an intuition that it's going to be, that this detachment is going to be okay, even though it might be a little scary, or it might be a little weird, or it might be like, wow, I've never left a project like that before, or I've never, walked away from something. Oh, that was the message I was getting as I was like preparing for you and preparing for this reading, was a sense of really stressing over, that you were really stressing over details that are supposed to be fun, but you're not, like things that are supposed to be fun and enjoyable and like, ooh, that was fun. There's like a sense of stress around it. And I didn't want to really say that directly because it seems so stereotypical Virgo, that I was like, I don't know, but that's the message. And now I'm seeing that a little bit with this High Priestess and this Knight of Wands and this like waiting and stressing over something, and when's it going to happen, and when does this happen, and then this detachment happening. And there's some way that that you're intuiting that the detachment is the right way to go, or this quitting, or this quiet quitting, or this inner quitting of something and detaching from the outcome here. Because here you're stressing about the outcome, here you're detaching from the outcome, and here you know something. But this is also just like secrets too, things that you know, right? You know something, but she's got her finger marked in this book. So there's a thing that she knows that she's not telling you. So this could be you. I'm getting that this is you. You know something that you're not telling, that you're not speaking on or saying. It's a secret. You have a bit of a secret. And the High Priestess too talks about the things we can't know, because they change the outcome when we know them. We change how we move when we know for sure. If you knew for sure where you were going here, once you detach from this, if you knew for sure the outcome, it would change things. So there could be a sense of wanting to know more, or wanting some kind of guarantee. But there's no guarantee, but there's an intuitive sense here that the detachment is the right way to go. But there is also something that you appear to know that you're not telling anyone. You're keeping a secret here. Well, we get that with these 6 swords here. Those were like something that you know, and you're detaching, but you know something. Oh, it doesn't even feel very intuitive either. It feels like actual knowledge, like concrete knowledge. Like you're leaving this, you're detaching, but you're taking something with you. And I think that's like information and knowledge that you gained during this long, drawn out, patient period. And I think that a lot of it, you're definitely keeping it to yourself, what you know. And maybe all of this knowledge that you've gotten allows you to detach a little more. There are questions that have been answered for you. And so I think that that's like allowing you to detach. I just see you as this High Priestess here, as far as like having an intuitive sense of something, but it's actually not even all that intuitive. It's information. What's at issue here is Ace of Wands. It's a Knight of Wands with this communication. You don't have anything to say. You're not inspired. Ace of Wands in reverse, I would typically see as like depression. Maybe this detachment has been... There might be a sense of hopelessness with the detachment. Of just, well, of course there is. Because this is full of hope. Back here, full of hope. Yes, I planted. I've worked so hard, just like they told me to. I want to see, and I'm going to see the fruits of my labors, just like they told me I would. And now you're like, oh my gosh, this is a little bit of disillusionment, right? Because I saw that you were a little bit angry there, or a little bit annoyed, and kind of moving away from something, giving it some side eye, like, what the hell, man? You were supposed to provide something. You were supposed to do something, and you didn't. And then we have this, so we have this Ace of Wands, maybe feeling jaded and bitter about something, even though you gained a lot of knowledge, you know, but there is this sense of like lifelessness or uninspired. It wasn't very inspired. Well, of course, if you stood there waiting forever and staring at it, it would eventually become very uninspiring and you would want to quit. Staring at it, waiting for it to do the thing that you wanted it to do. And you've gotten a little like jaded or uninspired, or there is no new beginning. There's no creative new beginning. There's no newness here. It's just like a dead twig. So, you know, here we're wanting to like exciting communication. We're probably wanting to receive it because it's always very exciting to receive good, exciting communication. But you haven't. There's no, right? This Knight has not shown up with what you were hoping this Knight would show up with, even though you put in a lot of work. They haven't shown up. They haven't shown up with their inspired or creative, or there's not a creative project here. There's not an inspired new beginning. There could be like, I mean, just, we got the Wands deck here. We could have like a sexual dysfunction going on here, you know, that would definitely fall under the uninspired or uninspired issues. So in your environment, we have justice. You could be dealing with the legal system. This could have been a long, drawn out legal process. You could also be, justice also represents a Libra energy. You could also be, someone might be making decisions, making judgments. And justice has a lot to do with integrity, being careful, being thoughtful with decisions. Someone may be trying to do right by you. Like, I see that you've waited for so long. But also there's a sense of integrity too, of just like, I want to say it is what it is. I am what I am. I'm not going to pretend to be otherwise so that you can get what you want. I know you worked hard for this, but I'm not going to make decisions just to please you. I'm going to make decisions because I feel like they're the right ones to make, according to my, beliefs and ideas and what I want to do. This may not feel very wise, but it is actually quite wise of them to be being maybe decisive, maybe making some decisions. They are being quite wise about it and smart about it. And there's fairness. So maybe this thing that you left in the past doesn't feel fair. But there is perhaps someone trying to make it fair. It can also just be legal issues, justice system, decisions being made and handed down, judgments, judges. Your to-do list, the lovers, go towards something that deeply connects you and brings you alive. Whatever, you've done a lot of work for something and it hasn't panned out the way you wanted it to. It's very uninspiring. But the lovers talk about like a deep connection with someone or something. I want to say a knowing connection with something or someone. The lovers always talks about a decision point though, a necessary decision point. How are you going to live your life? Are you going to go towards things that inspire you, or are you going to stay in places that don't inspire you? This isn't impulsive, but this Knight of Wands can be very impulsive. Communication about inspiration. You're not receiving that. Maybe someone's giving it to you, but you're not receiving it. Right? This almost looks to me like a baton that's been fumbled in the relay. Like the baton has been tried to be passed, but someone didn't catch it. Someone didn't receive this life-giving, inspiring thing. So is to choose love. Choose what you love. That's your decision point. That's your to-do list, is to choose love. Whether that's a person, a project, there's in a way like some kind of possibility or proposition here, or some kind of, you have a decision point. And the lovers always encourages us to choose love, even though you should go towards what we love, even though it may not be clear and obvious to others. Even if it may be misunderstood. There's a sense of like entering your own world. We each live in our own world and have our own perceptions and interpretations of everything. And we're entitled to that. And we don't give that up for other people, Like, if you've experienced something, it's not right to go measure that experience against someone else's experience, or ask them, you know, did you experience this? How valid is my experience? Like, who are you going to ask? Who is there out here that's more of an authority on reality than you are? Who can you ask, is this experience real? Did I experience this other than your own self? Who here is going to say that? And yeah, I see that all the time. Like, well, this is my beliefs. Well, I'm arguing about your beliefs. Like, who the hell are you? Like, you're just as much cued into reality as anybody else here. So why would you go around telling someone what they should be doing with their life? You have your life, you have your experiences, you have your beliefs, and you have your life and your experiences and your beliefs. And neither one of you, if we're dealing with like equality here, neither one of you actually has like the truth. It's not like there's, this one has truth TM and this one has like lesser truth. So your experience should not be subject to other people's opinions. So that's a little bit of this Lover's card here. Go towards what you love, what your experience is, what brings you personally alive, and don't check in with other people about it. Unless you're in a mental hospital, and even then, I have big questions about who we put in there and who goes there. Normally, I have a hope that it's for their own personal benefit, but yeah, so this is the Lover's card, is like, what brings you personally alive? And you don't need anyone else's approval for that unless it's like harming other people, which is obviously so outside what we would be discussing here. But so possible outcome, Page of Wands. The baton gets passed. The message, this Knight of Wands brings a message, and the Page of Wands receives the message. So we have 3 wands here. So this could be about a project, about a passion, about intuition. With the High Priestess here, it really seems like there's some sort of intuitive thing going on here too, very strongly. So this Knight of Wands, the Page of Wands receives that. And the Page of Wands, pages are students. They're new. They're beginners. This could be about like beginning again, approaching a topic from a new standpoint. And then the wands always talk to me too about like planting trees, like willow trees. You can just cut off a piece of the willow tree and put it in the ground. There's might be some things that can help the process. Put it in the ground, and if that ground's wet and moist and ready, then you grow a new willow tree. That's how they grow, the propagation of that. And so the wands talk to me about a very direct energy transfer and growth, and the ability for something to grow very rapidly once it meets reality. Once it meets the dirt, once it meets the reality, it has the potential to grow very rapidly. Like, this is very much alive in the upright. In the reverse, we've got a dead stick, but in the upright, we've got something that very much comes to life. And once it hits the ground, it can put in some roots and grow. So this Page of Wands is having a moments of discovery and very much learning about a new passion. So I guess what we're seeing here is that you need to mentally make a decision about what you're going to pay attention to. And this is something about like what brings you alive, and actually understanding that and seeing that. But there are 2 people here. There's one trying to communicate and one that's receiving the communication. And there's one that's just learning and one that's just getting the idea, just starting to understand the idea. Someone may have communicated with you, and once you like open your mind up to something that does attract you, that does actually have something that ignites the spark within you. Once you open up to that, it's like you receive you finally hear the message someone was trying to give you. And it may be surprising. Or this could be vice versa. No, because you have to open up because you have the Lover's card here. So there's some choice you have to make. Maybe it is a choice to communicate. All right. What do we have here we have Secret Spring, Success. So, you know, be looking for a little boat on a little pond in the night, the moon. Yeah, secret spring. So successful. It does look like a successful passing of the baton, of the passion, of the communication, from instructor to student. I don't want to say like professor, because that's not, the night doesn't have that. But there's a successful passing of communication, which has been very difficult, or passion. There's a successful transfer of passion, or a successful transfer of passion, which hasn't been able to happen before. And then we have Pegasus, transcendence. So, or I guess it's transfer, or transcendence, rising above whatever, transcending some, whatever like depression has happened here from the lack of passion. But there is passion coming in. There's creativity, passion, projects, stuff like that coming in. It just hasn't happened so far. Okay, and then our little prayer for you, dear Virgo. Barging badger, determination, focus, advancement. Tireless and resourceful one, share your ferocious spirit and spunk. And I really love that, because we have this sort of depressed vibe here. So tireless and resourceful one, share your ferocious spirit and spunk. Well, we can put tenacious in there too if we want. So barging badger. All right, join me over on Vimeo if you'd like. Ciao, Virgo.